What words would you use to describe yourself? I would say... Okay, I've just been handed a piece of paper by my lawyers with a statement with a bunch of safe words I'm supposed to read for this question. I would say I'm an internet and multimedia loving, jack of all trades, intellectual gamer, tsundere, alien anime cat girl, learning Earth's customs. Wait, what? Oh, okay, who wrote this shit? I want names.
That one didn't age quite so well.
Hey, it's Skay here with a February 2021 update, except this will probably come out in March because... reasons! Yay! Ugh. Where to start? I know, advertising! Wait! I mean personal advertising. This isn't some sponsored video, I'm not here to sell you stuff, I promise. First of all, follow these lovely people on your screen right now because we need more love in the world, period. We just do. And for anyone who doesn't know, we don't do live streams on this channel anymore, which is why things have been a lot more clean around here. All those streams were kind of cannibalizing the videos I was actually editing, and well, YouTube seems to hate that sort of thing in general. Algorithms and all that. But if you did like the live streams, and you want more, the links on your screen now is for the new streaming YouTube channel. This would include all the VODs, which will stay online to watch whenever you want, mostly, if YouTube doesn't intervene. At the moment, live streams also happen on Twitch and DLive, but this might change in the future. I would really like you guys to go to Twitch above all else for live streams. In fact, I might even get in trouble just for saying that word. But I know their website and app is not the greatest, so I'll understand if you can't and you have to watch on YouTube instead. Oh man, streaming woes. That's a rant that could be its own video. Do you want that sort of thing? Do you really want rant videos? Because I have a few people I know who want them. But at the same time, when I do rants, people seem to get pissed off too, so it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. Let me know in the comments. We also have a group Discord, which is a chilled out community which loves digital and internet culture. If you'd like to hang out there too and meet people and chat and game, give it a try. Who knows? I might show up there occasionally sometimes too. Which reminds me, we also have another video channel called Digibunker, which we're still trying to decide what to do with right now. It's a little empty at present, but I'll get to reasons for that later. Okay, now we get into the meat of the video with this up-to-date stuff. I kind of disappeared as a content creator from the internet from about mid-December 2020 until the end of January 2021. Now, the reason for that and what happened, I won't go into all the intimate details of here today, but to cut things short, after a series of scares with my family and a virus with the number 19 in the name, I actually caught the virus. Hell, my whole family did. Now, until this point, the virus hadn't really affected my life that much. 2020 was actually a pretty good year for me until those last 2 months. Which might tell you how sad my life is, but anyway. Now, YouTube hates people talking about this stuff. They literally spy on you and what you say, right down to the individual words, and will shadow ban videos, so for that reason, we will refer to that virus as just 19 from now on in this video and any other future references I do in other videos. Dragon Ball fans at the back of the room, try not to get confused, okay? I'm not talking about Android 19. Okay, let's do this. The rest of December kind of disappeared for me. Yes, that means Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, just all gone, all of it. And the reason for that is because I was so ill that I ended up in hospital. Now, before we go any further, let me make my intentions clear with this topic. This isn't another one of those conspiracy theory videos YouTube likes to shoot down, because I know people who've died from 19. So bear that in mind, Mr. Moderator, if you do decide to listen to this. Hello there, how you doing? Bear that in mind before you take down this video, just because I'm not some journalist who takes it up the arse from some rich investor who tells them what to say. Between me and my family, we went through pretty much every symptom you've heard of. We even had one person who was immune, I think. I say that because almost nothing happened to them. Compared to me who, you know, ended up in hospital for about a week. I can't even recall properly now. I then spent most of January recovering, so I could sound even as good as I do now talking to you guys. I was so ill at one point, talking, just using stairs or taking a shower was enough to make me tired, and often breathless. I feel mostly better now, but I won't lie, I have occasional moments where I just seem to get tired quickly, and I'm not exactly an extrovert, so I suppose my voice isn't used to being used that much in general anyway, so this on top of that has probably made things a little bit worse, but we're getting better, slowly but surely. It's how it works, I suppose. It's been a very stressful time for me and my family, and it continues to be. I've been told I've been lucky, but at the same time, when 19 attacks your lungs and breathing like it did with me, full recovery is slow at best, and at worst, can do body damage which stays with you forever. There are some cases out there of people who need oxygen masks because of 19 for the rest of their lives. And while I was using an oxygen mask while I was in hospital, I thankfully don't need one now. Maybe something will come back or become a new health problem for me, but for now, all I can do is look after myself really and hope that's enough. And the same thing applies to you guys as well. Obviously, do all the government guidelines and everything, but look after yourself. If you're not looking after your body, you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. We live in a very scary world right now, which I've learnt to mostly not speak too publicly about. But I'm telling you all this now to both inform you guys what happened to me, but also to tell you that 19 is no joke. I know we have people who are immune to 19, and we're getting all the medications and vaccinations and stuff like that now to deal with this, but you should still be careful out there. All I'm saying is just don't be stupid. Which I have faith most of you guys who are still listening to this now know what I mean when I say that. Don't treat 19 like, oh, go ahead and that thing at me. I'm wearing a bulletproof vest, I'll be fine. Because that's kind of the approach I'm seeing some people do at the moment. You only get one chance at this life, the one you're in now. So why mess around is what I'm saying. I have more to say about 19. Not anything that YouTube should find offensive. But I refuse to talk about any of the conspiracy theories and whether or not they're true or false, so let's get that out of the way right now. This is all more because I want to share what I've learned from those last 2 months I've had, and if that helps even one person, this video was worth making. If none of that interests you, depresses you, or anything like that, you can skip to this part of the video if you're tired of hearing about 19 and just want a more general update of what I'm doing, I guess, with the channel and everything going forward. I'm frankly angry, at least about here in England, because we're doing a terrible job explaining to people exactly what 19 is. Part of the reason for that is our world's greatest minds are still learning what 19 is too, while trying to keep everyone from freaking out at the same time. So here's my personal experience summary for you, Internet. Some people just call 19 a more powerful version of the flu, and there's some truth to that. Except flu is a bigger, more dangerous thing than you think it is, as it takes thousands of lives each year, and because we know so little about 19, it's much more dangerous than that by default. As I said earlier, we are in the process of making vaccines, but the most dangerous thing we know of right now that 19 can do is severely damage people's breathing. So of course, older people or people who already have bad health are the most at danger to die from this. And they have, in their millions. But I will admit, it's wrong that many of the deaths since March 2020 were listed as 19 deaths, even when they were not. Like, I know a family friend who died from a brain tumour recently, and it was listed as a death by 19. But in order for them to challenge that, and to get the diagnosis changed, you have to get an autopsy done on the body, and who the hell wants to do that? So then why did I end up in hospital, I'm guessing you're wondering? Well, my health was above average at the time, with a few bad life habits here and there, but I've had asthma in the past, which is probably a big reason why my reaction to 19 got as bad as it did. But until we understand 19 better, you need to understand, at the time of making this video, we don't have a cure for 19. Only treatments for some of what it can do to you after the fact. It's like a big hitting your body that we don't know how to diffuse. Medicine just deals with what's left of you after the 19 hits and any damage done. Does the way I say that sound a bit scary? Well, I'm sorry, but everyone should be at least scared enough that they take this seriously and respect it at this point. Conspiracy stuff aside. With all the crap we are told, however, there is one bit of information I don't see talked about enough, and I'm going to share that with you right now. If you or anyone in your family thinks if you catch 19, you're in for a bad time, actually no, screw it. Everyone should have one of these things in their house first aid box, whether you catch 19 or not. I promise this is not a sponsored thing. This is literally something I've learned as time's gone on through this whole 2 months I've had of semi-hell. This thing on your screen right now is something called a pulse oximeter. If you have a first aid box and you take that sort of thing seriously, get one. They're not expensive. You can get one from a drugstore, chemist, or online, and it can measure the oxygen levels in your body, which is especially useful if you catch 19. There's no pain, it just clamps onto a finger like a little padded grip, and that's how it measures your oxygen. Now, I'm not an expert, I'm just passing on the information I've been told by doctors because it's already saved lives. If your oxygen level is 97% or below and you're concerned, call your GP, doctor on 111 in England, or whatever your local health service is for dealing with 19. If your oxygen level is 92 or below, and or you feel short of breath and have difficulty breathing, you need to attend emergency health services directly. Call 999 or whatever your emergency number is. If possible, phone beforehand. They can't guarantee you an ambulance, but at least however you get there, you might get fast-tracked through their system a bit faster when you arrive. Not to mention the fact, the oximeter, if you talk to a staff member, you can tell them what the reading is. They will take you much more seriously, much more quickly. The earlier people seriously ill from 19 get treatment, the better chance they will have to fully recover from it. Once again, I've had a pretty bad last 2 months, which I've learned from, and I'm sharing this information to hopefully save at least one person from the stuff that's happened to me for the last 2 months, or worse. The sort of thing that people on the internet who have way more clout than me should be talking about, but they don't because they're cowards and they're scared YouTube is going to shut them up or something. You might see me make jokes about 19 in a future video or something like that, but I say this beforehand now. Know that I take the real thing extremely seriously. I might answer more questions in private about all this, or possibly in live streams, but please, let's mostly keep this conversation out of the comments and I'd like to end the talk about 19 from this point on in this video. Now, on to a more general talk about me. The state of the internet scene and me as a content creator, and, well, this already feels a lot more difficult to talk about for me than that last 10 minutes we just spent talking about 19. Which, funny enough, ladies and gentlemen, this seems to be a problem that keeps popping up for me. I mean, even just recording this video, listening back to myself, it's almost like I've made backward progress a bit. I'm almost like hate the sound of my own voice again a little bit. So much so that I did this recording over 2 sessions. Hello again. Hopefully it's not too obvious, although you can probably tell a bit more strength in my voice now. Anyway, we're at that point of the video again where I'm not sure what to say and what to keep silent, either because it's a topic that's big enough to be its own video, I might be oversharing, I might be pissing you guys off, or some famous website owner who will hide this video from the general public. All this worry is kind of strange to me because a lot of these do the right thing faults only used to affect me in real life, not online. Something's changed, but anyway. Let me start by saying I'm looking into getting some kind of therapy. The problem for me is finding something that both isn't going to burst my wallet into flames from the cost or use my data to make marketing even more predatory somehow than it already is. Yeah, apparently I did a bit of research and websites offering mental health services harvesting your data is also a thing now. Isn't that lovely? The best I can do instead, for now at least, is talk to friends, though I hope not burden them too much. Please, I hope not. No. Looking at self-help books, watching videos, and strangely enough, watching these strange videos I've started finding on the internet of people talking about their issues while having the host of the video try and help them. Sometimes through helping that person thinking through their problems, these videos help me a little bit with my own. Yeah, it's not as fast or helpful maybe as getting personal therapy, but at least it's free. I mean, that's something that's relatable, right? Sometimes other people talking about their problems, sometimes their problems sound similar to yours and then the way they deal with it helps you in a way. I hope that sounds familiar. If you're interested in that sort of thing, check out a group called healthygamer.gg, because they're one example of the sort of thing I'm talking about. They do some pretty good videos. Now, I'll admit, I'd feel more guilty about talking about mental health normally, but I've come to realise many of my favourite content creators have also done the same thing. The main difference between them and me is, let me think. I have a smaller budget to spend on that sort of self-care. I guess with the mainstream internet being such a crap place now, it's like needing therapy comes with the territory of being a content creator now or something. When I think back to early YouTube, a lot of creators seem to have such a different outlook to the newer people I see doing the whole YouTube thing now. Ever since that first time that PewDiePie got reported about in the press, TV, showing about all the fame and everything you can get from it, suddenly everyone is trying for fame or their own little niche business on the internet now. In this huge world of videos we have, it's just far too many for one person to ever just look through everything at this point. And from day one, a lot of these new people are probably more organised than the OG YouTubers were. But despite all that, more often than not, at least in my opinion, they just don't come across as genuine people as those YouTubers who came before them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with planning for big success and everything. It's maybe even a better approach than just putting whatever you want out on the internet. It's just when I compare the two, the old school creators to the new school and their stories, so many of them just seem to lack something. A lot of the big names, it has to be said, are failed actors and bubbly, loud personalities, often living in the California area, more specifically LA, trying to use those social talents that they've learned elsewhere compared to what they originally planned to make content, we'll just say that. Especially if they're born and bred in the USA, I've noticed. Or I can give you a less cynical description of those people. Many of the early YouTubers reached out to the World Wide Web because they felt ignored and were looking for something I guess they couldn't find anywhere else. Your Markipliers, PewDiePies, Jacksepticeye's, they were all looking for friendships at first. A way to talk about whatever they want that interests them, or even just to feel a desire to feel seen and heard. Now that might sound selfish and self-absorbed on the surface, but it's not so much when you know about people's upbringing and environment they grew up in. Being seen, heard and respected is not a luxury everyone has. Despite how sad that might sound, that's the reality. It's how you used to create comedians like the late great Robin Williams, who believed growing up that the only time he was being listened to was when he was being funny. That is one of the big things that pushed him towards being a comedian. But again, as I say, these original content creators, turning what they do into a YouTube business, for the most part, didn't even cross their minds to begin with. And there's a lot of changes that can come with that process. I don't think of myself as an equal to any of these examples of creators I'm giving, so why am I having this little ramble or anything with you right now, you're probably wondering. Where is this going? And the reason for that is, thinking about all this content creator stuff and the future has just left me with a dilemma. It kind of begged two questions of me that I've never thought to truly answer before properly. What got me into YouTube, and why am I still trying to do it? And well, I can at least answer the first question easily. To put it in as few words as possible, I have a lot of anger for myself and the world around me from the past. The reasons for which, the specific reasons, I might share one day, but not right now. I thought all those feelings inside of me were gone for a while, and in many ways they are, but it's still here within me, I feel, more than I wanted to admit for a long time. I touched on this a little before in the past, but I'm still trying to adjust to the idea that me as a person is more important than what I create, because I've spent most of my life not feeling that way. If I can't create anything, what am I worth? Imposter syndrome, similar other feelings. Chances are, if you're someone who's tried to do creative things and you've had burnout and similar feelings and stuff like that, chances are you and me have had very similar feelings at one point or another. And if I'm perfectly honest, my solution for a long time to all that has been just become numb to it, to the point where I don't feel it anymore. It just is normal to me. But recent events have taught me that I can't keep doing that, because it will probably kill me in the long term. So among other things, I'm learning to try and sit with these emotions that I've been ignoring for a long time, to try and make sense of them, because that's better than just pretending they're not there. Because the bottom line is, at this point, I don't have much of a plan, just like those early YouTubers didn't. The only thing I put big thought into was the idea that if I got better at this to a point where people gave a crap, I wanted to be an example for others to follow who felt a similar way to what I did growing up to this point, really, in my life. To be inspired and do great things for yourselves, despite what the world tells you to the contrary, what you can and can't do. And oh yeah, those kind of rich fuckers and YouTube policy changes running the internet now kind of put a wrench in all those plans, haven't they? But let's try and be optimistic. There's still some ways you can do these things now. It's just not as easy as it used to be. But really, between all these thoughts and having to think things like this over, and the unexpected amount of love I've received for me as a person these last few years, even more now that I've not really been making much content, it's kind of messed me up in a strange way. But please don't misunderstand. It's a good thing. It's like I've been sleepwalking all this time, and I just hit the microphone almost. Sorry. It's like I've been sleepwalking all this time and just became awake more now, if that makes any sense whatsoever. In the past, I've always been a very reserved person. Hell, when I started using VR chat, one of the first things I was getting called was a tsundere, but let's leave that there for now. That's something probably for another video. The internet and my friends I've met through it have got me to express things a lot more now than I ever used to do in the past. And as the world's changed through technology, and the world almost getting smaller in a way because of it, it's also been kind of forcing me to try and put together something I always used to keep separate in the past, which was my real life and my internet life. And that's another thing I'm in the process of making sense of right now, because you don't want everything out there. Let's just say that for now. You don't want everything out there in the World Wide Web for the people to see. Especially not now, with drama mobs of various kinds. I'm really trying not to delve into too much subjects that I want to speak about in the other videos right now, but in the time I've watched content creators over the years, it seems like there's one thing that just never ever seems to go out of fashion, I think. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is human connection. It's why people can chat nonsense on a webcam for 10 minutes and call that a video blog. It's why everyone with a following is trying to do podcasts now. It's why just chatting is always one of the top categories on Twitch. And it's one of the reasons why you guys are paying attention to a bunch of poorly animated anime waifus right now. No, wait, I can't talk about it yet. That's another topic for another video. Ugh. The internet, and more so social media, can be a self-absorbed, narcissistic place. Some of you guys and girls can talk endlessly like you've never had a teacher, bully, or family member ever tell you to shut the fuck up with such an anger to their tone of voice, you'll one day have to talk to a therapist about it. And hey, good for you, I suppose. There's just something about human culture in 2021 that makes us value people who have good communication way more now. And bonus points if they're hot, of course, because I know what you lot are like. Like, the reactions to someone who can both listen and communicate well now, for some reason, is almost like, I don't know. If positive social interaction was water, like a good chat or someone fun to listen to, a lot of you are treating that like you're in the desert and you just found water. It's like, yes, please, give me more. I'm also trying to touch on this as clumsily as I am because of the sudden rise in people concerned with parasocial relationships between viewers of content and the content creators, but also because of the sudden interest of so many people to talk and generally hang out with me. It's been so surprising to me. It's like the enthusiasm is both humbling to me, but it also makes me concerned sometimes for people. Like, how to explain it? The way people react is like, I might be a little bit kind to someone, and it's like they react as if no one's ever done that to them ever in their lives, and there's just something so sad about that. And I mean that in a concerned way. Like most guys, I'm used to suppressing emotions to the point you miss cues, feel a lot less because you're usually numb, and then eventually you can't be numb anymore, and then everything just hits you like a ton of bricks. So maybe that's why it took me so long for me to notice my sudden situation going from who the hell wants to hang out with me to who the hell wants to hang out with me? If that makes sense. I feel like now I'm trying to learn a bunch of life lessons all of a sudden in fast forward others seem to have known for ages. I don't know. Maybe just people are better at pretending they know than I am. It's humbling, upsetting if I think about it too hard, but I mean that all in a good way. It's made me aware of some really tough truths, like I seem to be able to get along with nearly anyone, but you can't seem to get along with each other, and how there may be nothing I can ever do about that. Not to mention the fact that I can't be a proper friend to every one of you, no matter how much I want to, which is something I never thought I'd even think I'd get into a situation where that would be a problem. I know I can't make all of you happy with the content I make, or by spending time with you like a friend deserves. I can't even make videos to try and please everyone because you all want different things at this point. My Xenoverse Dragon Ball phase has kind of made that painfully clear. That, and of course YouTube always giving me hell for daring to be independent, plus my own happiness. It's a frustrating situation and I just feel paralysed with decisions at the moment. I can't even say that I'm quitting because I just don't know at the moment. I've been thinking over this for a while now, and it's probably one of the things that hit me the most while I was sick. Kind of lost in my thoughts at the time. I'm one of those YouTubers who started out thinking they had next to no one, and the internet was the only voice with any power that I had. There's at least some truth to that, but now I can't even speak freely anymore either. I'm still trying to figure out a solution to that problem, and it's looking like I have to split up parts of my personality onto different accounts on the internet, which in a strange way is almost like a split of what I did before of my personality online and offline. It's just getting worse. This is the world we live in. Oh boy. All of this is kind of hitting me at the same time, and even what I'm telling you now is a watered down version of all the crap going on in my head right now. But at the same time, good lord, if my head is going through these thoughts, what are the big name successful YouTubers? What is going through their heads right now compared to mine? Good lord, those poor people. My streams are mostly going ahead as normal, but I'll be honest with you guys, until I can get my head straight again, all video content is gonna be small at best, and for now, all of this I see as more as a hobby, not as any kind of possible job anymore. At least not until, again, I get these thoughts figured out a bit more. If this all sounds really self-obsessed, I'm really sorry. I just feel like I need to understand myself better and get a better plan together before I can do more for you guys. It's probably been that way for a long time now, and for various different reasons I've been putting it off. Everything is just like trying to hit a target in the dark when I don't even know what the target looks like. The content creator and the audience form a connection that I was never prepared really for happening. Which seems kind of silly in hindsight, but that's just where my head is. I don't want this video to turn into just some sob story, and it can be hard sometimes to figure out what I can and can't say, but one of the things I value more than anything, with our interactions at least, is me being honest with you and getting important information across. I've seen what the pro YouTubers do. They bury all their fears and insecurities as best they can, and present what they think is their best self or a character to the audience. It's a different approach with its own set of pitfalls, but I think we've rambled for long enough now. I'm sorry this isn't more structured, but maybe that will give you at least some small idea of where my head is at right now. All I can really do is keep experimenting and see what sticks. Kind of like how those Xenoverse videos did as well as they did for a while. If you want to know more about the woes of having to deal with YouTube as a platform to make content, I highly recommend a video made by Nuxtaku. I will put a link at the end of the video for you for that one, because a lot of the things he talks about, especially in terms with dealing with YouTube, I have come across that shit myself, and what can you say at this point? Countless people have bitched and moaned and complained about all the problems YouTube has, but how many people have actually done anything about it? How many people have actually made the effort to try and move to other platforms? About the only other platform I've seen people make conscious efforts to move over to is Twitch. And that's probably about it. So we just carry on really, I suppose. But I really have rambled for long enough now. Once again, don't forget there's the YouTube streaming channel if you'd rather watch streams on YouTube than Twitch. Drop me a line in any of those ways that I've shown you for contacting me or hanging out in the Discord and things like that. I would like to turn some of the streams into actually watchable videos, and if you want that too, you need to send some message suggestions my way, because I do read all the comments. I take feedback very seriously, and if something has a lot of interest from the viewers, I will make that a priority, because that's just how I roll. For now, thank you for listening to my ramblings. Hopefully we'll be back soon, and if not, you will probably find me on a stream anyway. I'm not that hard to find. And you take care of yourself, everybody, in these crazy, crazy times. SK out of here. Peace. Love. Take care of yourselves.